Step away from the vehicle now. Is there a problem, officer? Where did you get that uniform? I'm a Navy SEAL. I just came from a ceremony. You got ID? Yes, but what am I being detained for? Hands on the car, don't argue.
Step away from the vehicle now. Is there a problem, officer? Where did you get that uniform? I'm a Navy SEAL. I just came from a ceremony. You got ID? Yes, but what am I being detained for? Hands on the car. Don't argue. Deputy Sheriff Travis Holbrook had been with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department for 9 years when he responded to a call that would destroy his life and sent him to federal prison for 58 years. He was 34 years old, experienced enough to know better, confident enough to believe his judgment was infallible. One Friday night at a gas station on Highland Avenue, he saw a black man in a Navy uniform and decided it had to be fake. The man was Lieutenant Commander Darius Mitchell, a decorated Navy SEAL with 16 years of service, multiple combat deployments, and medals for extraordinary heroism. What Holbrook did next, music ignoring Mitchell's credentials, dismissing his military ID and arresting a war hero in full dress uniform, would trigger a Pentagon investigation, federal charges, and a trial that exposed 9 years of documented racial profiling. Holbrook's record told a story San Bernardino County had ignored for nearly a decade. 14 complaints over 9 years. 14. Every single one involved people of color. Every single one followed the same pattern. A black family barbecuing in Glen Helen Regional Park. Holbrook demanded permits, threatened citations when they questioned his authority. A Hispanic teenager skateboarding near Victoria Gardens Mall, detained for 40 minutes. Backpack searched without consent. Music and Asian businessmen photographing architecture downtown, questioned about terrorism surveillance. A black college student driving through Rancho Cucamonga, pulled over for driving suspiciously. Car searched, no contraband found. The complaints were documented. The pattern was obvious. But San Bernardino County treated each incident in isolation, never connecting them into what they clearly formed. A deputy who saw people of color in spaces where his biased mind said they didn't belong. Supervisors noted in his evaluations that Holbrook was results-oriented but sometimes overzealous in community interactions, that he could benefit from additional de-escalation training, that he should work on cultural sensitivity, but those notes never became consequences. 3 complaints resulted in written reprimands, filed away, and forgotten. 4 triggered mandatory retraining sessions Holbrook attended but never internalized. 7 were closed with insufficient evidence, despite witness statements. 0 resulted in suspension, demotion, or termination. So Holbrook kept patrolling, kept stopping, kept assuming. And San Bernardino County kept ignoring the pattern until the night Holbrook targeted someone who couldn't be dismissed. Someone whose credentials came with Pentagon backing. Someone whose arrest would finally force accountability. Lieutenant Commander Darius Mitchell was 38 years old when Deputy Holbrook decided his Navy uniform must be fake. Mitchell had been a Navy SEAL for 16 years. 16 years of service most people can't comprehend. He joined the Navy at 22, desperate to escape San Bernardino's cycle of poverty and violence that had claimed 3 of his high school friends. Basic training at Great Lakes, then BUD/S basic underwater demolition, SEAL training, where 80% of candidates quit. Music Mitchell didn't quit. 6 months of hell, cold water immersions, endless physical torture, sleep deprivation designed to break you. He graduated, earned his trident. The gold-pinned SEALs wear with pride. Then the real work began. First, deployment to Iraq in 2009, Romani, clearing buildings. Hunting high-value targets, watching teammates take fire. Second deployment to Afghanistan, Helmand Province. 8 months in the mountains, ambushes, IEDs, missions classified even now. Third, deployment back to Iraq. Mosul, the fight against ISIS. Operations so intense, Mitchell still had nightmares. Syria, Yemen, Somalia, places the American public never heard about. Missions that never made the news. Music in 2016. During an operation in northern Iraq, Mitchell's team was ambushed. 8 SEALs pinned down by heavy machine gun fire, RPGs exploding, teammates wounded. Mitchell, already hit by shrapnel, his leg bleeding, ran into the kill zone 3 times, dragging wounded operators to safety. He held a position alone for 12 minutes while the team evacuated, taking fire from 3 directions, returning fire until his ammunition ran out. All 8 teammates survived. Mitchell earned the Navy Cross, the second highest military decoration for valor, just below the Medal of Honor. The citation described extraordinary heroism under fire and complete disregard for personal safety. He also earned the Purple Heart for his wounds and the Bronze Star with Vice for valor in a separate operation. His chest held ribbons most civilians wouldn't recognize, but every service member respected. Combat Action Ribbon, Iraq Campaign Medal with 4 stars. Afghanistan Campaign Medal, NATO Medal, ribbons representing years of sacrifice. That Friday night in October, Mitchell was driving through San Bernardino in his Navy service dress blue. Uniform, the formal military attire worn for ceremonies and official functions. He'd just come from Naval Base San Diego, a memorial service for a fallen teammate, a brother killed in a training accident. The service had been emotional, exhausting, a reminder of how many friends Mitchell had buried. He was driving to his mother's house to surprise her, hadn't seen her in 8 months, couldn't tell her where he'd been. Classified deployment. Dangerous work. He just wanted to hug her, sleep in his childhood bed, pretend for a weekend that the world wasn't burning. At 10:47 p.m., his fuel light came on. He pulled into the Chevron station on Highland Avenue. The Chevron station on Highland Avenue sits at the intersection where San Bernardino's working class neighborhoods meet the slightly more affluent areas. To the north is the kind of 24-hour station that serves late-night shift workers, long-haul truckers, and people just passing through. Bright fluorescent lights, 8 pumps, small convenience store with bulletproof glass at the counter. On a Friday night in October, the station was quiet. Just a few cars, people minding their own business, getting gas, and leaving. At 10:47 p.m., Lieutenant Commander Darius Mitchell pulled his silver Honda Accord into pump number 5. He stepped out, still in his Navy service dress, blue uniform. The uniform is unmistakable. Dark navy blue jacket with gold buttons, white shirt underneath, black tie, and matching navy trousers. On his left chest, rows of ribbons in precise military alignment. The Navy Cross at the top, its blue and white stripes immediately recognizable to anyone with military knowledge. Purple Heart below, that Bronze Star with the small bronze V device for valor. Campaign medals, service ribbons, each one telling a story of deployment, sacrifice, combat. On his right chest, music is gold. SEAL Trident, the eagle clutching an anchor. Trident and pistol, the pin every SEAL earns after years of training. His shoulder board showed 2.5 gold stripes. The rank insignia of a lieutenant commander, 04, equivalent to an army major. His military bearing was obvious. The way he stood, shoulders back, head up, the posture drilled into service members through years of training. His shoes were polished, his uniform was immaculate. Despite the long day, he looked exactly like what he was, a decorated Navy officer in formal military attire. Mitchell swiped his credit card at the pump, selected regular, unleaded, and began filling his tank. He was exhausted, emotionally drained from the memorial service from saying goodbye to another teammate who'd survived combat only to die in a training accident. He was thinking about his mother, about how surprised she'd be to see him, about whether she'd made her famous peach cobbler recently. He wasn't thinking about the person watching him from across the parking lot. Someone who saw his uniform, saw his skin, and decided something must be wrong. Before we continue, where are you watching from? If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Stories like these need to be shared, and your support helps us bring more truth to light. The call came into San Bernardino County. Sheriff's dispatch at 10:51 p.m. Anonymous caller refusing to provide a name. Calling from a cell phone that would later be traced to an apartment complex 3 blocks from the Chevron station. Hi, I'm calling about a suspicious person at the gas station on Highland Avenue. There's a black guy wearing what looks like a military costume, and he's been standing there for a while. He looks threatening. I think he might be impersonating a service member or something. Can you send someone to check it out? The dispatcher asked standard music questions. Is the person doing anything threatening? Has he approached anyone? Is he carrying weapons? Music, but he just looks suspicious. The uniform looks fake. I don't think he's really military. He doesn't look like he should be wearing that. The dispatcher logged the call, suspicious person, possible stolen valor, and sent it out. The call was assigned to Deputy Travis Holbrook, who was patrolling 2 miles away. Holbrook responded immediately. This was exactly the kind of call that activated every bias in his pattern. A black man in a space where Holbrook's assumptions said black men didn't belong. Wearing something that seemed too legitimate, too accomplished, too authoritative for Holbrook to accept as real. In Holbrook's mind, the narrative was already written before he arrived. Black guy in military uniform at a gas station late at night. Probably homeless. Probably mentally ill. Probably bought the uniform at a thrift store or online. Stolen.